It's time now for the Wells Report front page. This for Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. 8 GOP candidates will vie to emerge as the party's top alternative to former President Donald Trump in their first on-stage showdown tonight in Milwaukee. This reported from CNN. The 2-hour debate is set to start at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. It's hosted by Fox News Channel with hosts Bret, Baier, and Martha MacCallum moderating. CNN will cover the debate at CNN.com, including live updates, analysis, and fact checks. 8 candidates will be on stage. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, former Vice President Mike Pence, former South Carolina Governor and U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley, former New Jersey Governor Christie, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson, and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. So far, there has been a little bit of controversy regarding this surrounding Vivek Ramaswamy. The Zionist Organization of America, ZOA, is lashing out at the Republican presidential candidate for saying that he would like to see U.S. military aid to Israel end by 2028. This reported by Newsmax. Ramaswamy argues it would be unnecessary after he negotiates new peace deals between the Jewish state and its Arab neighbors during his first term as president. Ramaswamy made the comments in an interview with the Washington Free Beacon that was published over the weekend. He voiced support for the Abraham Accords peace deal between Israel, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Sudan, and Morocco, negotiated during the Trump administration. Ramaswamy added he would broker expanded agreements between Israel and Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, and Indonesia, and believes that he can deliver that in his first year in office. He said that if he attempts Abraham Accords 2.0, if those attempts were unsuccessful, he would favor maintaining military aid to Israel, which stands at about $3 billion per year. The National Pulse is reporting that Larry Elder will not be on tonight's GOP debate stage. Conservative commentary Larry Elder says he's suing the Republican National Committee because of it. He's been left off the stage in Milwaukee. The National Pulse reveals that the dispute surrounding his eligibility stems from a Rasmussen Reports poll. It was published Monday, August 21st, day before yesterday, which ostensibly gave Elder 1% he needed to cross the eligibility threshold. Elder says he's already surpassed the other requirements, including having over 40,000 donors across dozens of states. But the RNC said the poll cannot be factored in not because it came from Rasmussen, that's a pollster with an excellent track record, but rather because the organization which sponsored the survey, the Anti-Soros Enforce the Law PAC, is run by Eric Branstad, who has previously and recently worked with both Team Trump and Team Elder. President Trump, for his part, will be on tonight on X. He is saying that sparks will fly in his interview with Tucker Carlson. It's expected to air at 9 p.m. The former president's Truth Social post, replicated by his campaign war room of X below, that's a piece of script unnecessary, says, my interview with Tucker Carlson will be aired tonight at 9 p.m. Sparks will fly. Enjoy. The interview is timed to counter-program the Republican debate, which Team Trump had branded a vice presidential competition. In national news, President Biden and his family are huddling in secrecy this week at an exclusive home on the shore of Lake Tahoe in Nevada amid the special counsel investigation of Biden's son, Hunter. This reported by Fox News. According to the White House, the Bidens are renting the $18 million home of an environmental activist, businessman, and former Democrat presidential candidate Tom Steyer. That renting is supposedly at fair market value for a 9-day vacation following the president's trip to Hawaii to survey damage from the recent devastating wildfires. When asked if anyone was expected to pay visits to the president or his family, a White House spokesman told Fox News that there have never been any visitor logs kept at the Family First residence or the First Family residences or lodgings during travel, and they intend to continue that policy. An unnamed employee of former President Donald Trump has retracted what was called false testimony to a grand jury after changing lawyers, this according to federal prosecutors. The employee, referred to as Trump employee number 4 in court documents from special counsel Jack Smith's office, retracted statements from earlier testimony and gave information implicating Trump and others over alleged efforts to delete security footage at the former president's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida, this being reported by Fox News. Fox News confirmed that Trump employee number 4 was Yusil Tavares, a Mar-a-Lago tech worker. Tavares is cooperating with Smith's team after switching lawyers. The court documents say Trump employee 4, quote, repeatedly denied or claimed not to recall, unquote, any contacts or conversation about security footage when they testified before a D.C. grand jury in March of 2023. CBS News reports that autopsy results call the death of the Obama chef Tafari Campbell accidental drowning. That happened in a Martha's Vineyard lake. This officials confirmed yesterday. Campbell was paddleboarding at Edgartown Great Pond the night of July 23rd when he was seen struggling in the water, according to CBS Boston reporting at the time. His cause of death was determined to be accidental drowning due to submersion in a body of water. This according to Timothy McGurk, a spokesperson for the Massachusetts Executive Office of Public Safety and Security. Fox News reports that Internal Revenue Service investigator Gary Shapley, who came forward along with Joseph Ziegler as a whistleblower in the Hunter Biden tax probe, told Fox News special counsel David Weiss's credibility had been rendered non-existent and that Attorney General Merrick Garland's behavior may warrant a probe on its own. Shapley said that Weiss, the Trump-appointed but Biden holdover U.S. attorney for the District of Delaware, was reportedly found to have not planned to bring charges against Hunter Biden in his investigation until Shapley and Ziegler went public about the case. Questions also rose from Weiss's reported closeness with then Delaware Attorney General Beau Biden, the president's elder, now deceased son, a decade ago. For David Weiss to continue on as special counsel in this investigation just raises so many questions for the American people, Shapley told Fox News. The Nebraska Examiner is now reporting that the next generation of COVID-19 and therapies have gotten $1.4 billion from the U.S. government. The Biden administration on yesterday, announced a $1.4 billion investment in developing the so-called next generation of COVID-19 vaccines and treatments. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra and Assistant Secretary for Preparedness and Response Don O'Connell made the announcement, saying the funding is part of a $5 billion program they hope will get the country ahead of any future changes in COVID-19. Quote, this is an investment in expanding our country's ability to respond to future variants that we might see coming out of COVID, said Becerra. It's an investment in better protecting all of our communities, including those who are immunocompromised and who don't respond well to existing vaccines. State news this morning out of Florida. A school district has singled out Black 4th and 5th graders for an assembly regarding improving test scores. This from Fox News. A Flagler County, Florida elementary school singled out numerous Black students, forced them to attend an assembly on improving their standardized test scores, as confirmed by the district's interim superintendent. Fox News 35 in Orlando reported last Friday that students in grades 4 and 5 were taken out of class to attend an assembly in Bunnell Elementary School's cafeteria, and that was learned by several parents. The students who performed well on standardized tests were reportedly brought to the front of the assembly and used as models and examples as teachers discussed the test scores and offered gift cards to restaurants as rewards for improving the other students' test scores. Out of New York, the company given a multi-million-dollar no-bid contract by the city to relocate migrants is now facing a state probe. This from the New York Post. That probe is baffling PR mavens with its move to bring in a controversial firm for crisis communications, according to the New York Post. The New York Attorney General's office has quietly opened an investigation into DocGo amid a series of complaints that migrants have allegedly been misled and mistreated by the company while being moved upstate under a $432 million uncompetitive contract that DocGo had with the city. And in an eyebrow-raising move, the COVID supplier turned migrant logistics expert also brought on Ron Tarosian's firm, 5WPR, which notably repped Pornhub amid sexploitation scandals to handle all of the fallout. There have been two rare cases of mosquito-borne disease detected in Alabama. This has included one death. ABC News reports 2 cases of a rare mosquito-borne disease have been reported in Alabama, including one death, according to officials. The cases of Eastern equine encephalitis, EEE or Tripoli, occurred in Spanish Fort, Alabama, 9 miles east of Mobile, the city said in a Facebook update. The Alabama Department of Public Health declined to provide any information about the patients, including name, age, or sex. International news this morning: India has landed a lunar probe near the moon's south pole. This from the New York Times. 2 visitors from India, a lander named Vikram and a rover named Pragyan, landed in the southern polar region of the moon today. It just happened, in fact. The 2 robots from a mission named Chandrayaan-3 made India the first country ever to reach that part of the lunar surface in one piece, only the 4th country to ever land on the moon. The Indian public already takes great pride in the accomplishments of the nation's space program, which has orbited the moon and Mars and routinely launches satellites above the Earth with fewer financial resources than other nations. But the achievement of Chandrayaan-3 may be even sweeter. Quote, "We are witnessing the rise of a new India," said Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India in a video call from South Africa to the control room in Bengaluru. Out of Russia, PBS reports that Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Xi Jinping were both absent as leaders from the BRICS group of emerging economies, starting a 3-day summit in South Africa. Putin's travel to Johannesburg was complicated by an outstanding international criminal court warrant for his arrest over the abduction of children from Ukraine. His participation in the bloc, named for a member regions Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, opened its first in-person meeting since before COVID-19. And his participation came in the form of a 17-minute pre-recorded speech.